It's Friday, everyone. What do we do on Fridays here at the Hint Hive? That's right, we smash the patriarchy. Happy New Year, ladies! Welcome back to the Hint Hive, amplifying women's voices. I'm your host, Kelly Hint, queen bee of this hive, feminist life coach, psychotherapist, and resident truth teller. And wow, we are officially in season 3 and stepping boldly into 2026 together. Whew, somehow we survived 2025. I want to pause right here and just say this. If you are listening to this podcast, whether you've been here since the very first episode, whether you joined sometime last year, or whether you literally just found this show today, you matter to this hive. This podcast exists because you listen, because you keep coming back, because you send episodes to other women and say, you need to hear this. You share it in group chats, therapy sessions, book clubs, car rides, and sometimes even at the dinner table when conversations get uncomfortable. Ladies, that kind of grassroots support is powerful, and I do not take it lightly. Your listening is an act of support. Your sharing is an act of resistance. And your presence here keeps this hive buzzing. So thank you. From the top, bottom, and middle of my heart, you, my hive, are all badass queens. Okay, my gal pals, before we dive into today's conversation, I do want to talk about something transparently. If this podcast has supported you, challenged your thinking, validated your experiences, or helped you feel less alone in the world, there is a way to support the show financially. You'll find a link in the episode description. There's absolutely no obligation. This podcast will always exist as free, accessible content. But if you are in a position to help sustain the time, labor, emotional energy, and behind-the-scenes work that goes into creating it, that option is there. So just click on the support the show link in the episode description. There's also some affiliate links that you can click on if you're interested, but honestly, one of the most powerful ways that you can support this show is still the simplest. Keep telling other women about it. That is what I care about more than anything. That is what I care about more than supporting the show financially. I care more about as many women hearing this as possible. We grow this hive one voice at a time. I started out with just a teeny tiny audience, and now this hive is made up of listeners from over 42 countries and territories and over 425 cities throughout the world. That, my friends, is something I never thought possible with just me sitting here spewing my feminist beliefs into a microphone. And you have all made it possible. So again, I know I already thanked you, but I'm going to thank you again. So thank you. Let's keep up the fight. Because 2026... if anybody follows like the Chinese New Year, numerology, all of that fun stuff, we just got done with a 9-year cycle. The years of the snake. We are in the cycle of the snake. And 2026 is about the snake shedding its skin. And I cannot think of a more appropriate metaphor to describe this current disgusting administration here in the United States. I want that snake to shed his skin. So ladies, let's bring in 2026 with all of the power of our collective voices, because we need it. So now let's talk about New Year energy without the toxic hustle, because the new year tends to bring a certain type of energy with it, right? There's reflection, there's hope, there's pressure, and there's usually a whole lot of noise telling women who they should become by January 1st. So, let me be very clear right out of the gate. This is not about becoming a new you because the old you wasn't good enough. We are not doing that shame-based transformation over here. No, hard pass on that narrative. Instead, I want us to approach the new year as an invitation for conscious reflection. Not judgment, not self-criticism, reflection. Asking yourself questions like, who am I becoming? What am I genuinely proud of from last year? What drained my energy or my spirit? What actually nourished me? What am I ready to release without guilt? And what do I want more of in my life? Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. Because as women, we are often socialized to set goals that are palatable to others. Goals that make us more productive, more agreeable, more useful, more accommodating. Goals that shrink us just enough to keep the peace. This year, I want you to consider goals that feel aligned rather than performative. Goals that make sense for your life, your body, your nervous system, and your season, not someone else's expectations. So let's talk about Season 3 intentions for the Hint Hive. I want to share more intentionally about my goals for this podcast as we move through 2026. Season 3 is going to be about depth and engagement. It's about going deeper on issues that matter most to you. It's about hearing from you, my listeners, on what topics you want me to cover. It's about naming and calling out the systems that impact women's mental health instead of individualizing everything. It's about talking honestly about power, boundaries, anger, grief, ambition, rest, and desire. It's about continuing to dismantle internalized misogyny without sugarcoating it or softening the message for comfort. This hive will continue to center women's voices, women's lived experiences, and women's autonomy. We are not here to teach women how to survive oppressive systems more quietly. Hell no. We are here to help women trust themselves, reclaim their voices, and lead their lives with intention. This podcast is not about self-improvement for the sake of capitalism. It is about self-trust, self-leadership, and collective empowerment. And don't worry, we'll still laugh. We'll still get a little spicy. We'll still name the hard things with honesty and humor. But Season 3 is also about depth, nuance, nurturing our sisterhood, and truth. And I'm hoping to hear more from you, my treasured hive. This is your show too, so I welcome any and all feedback and suggestions. If you want me to cover a certain topic, let me know. I am always open to suggestions. If you click on that send us a text link in the show notes, Just know that I can't text you back, but I will receive your text and I will address it in the next episode. I want to bring to you content that matters to you. And one of my goals, again, I've been working on this one, but my life kind of imploded a little bit in 2025, so I had to put it on hold. But I want to figure out how to get people on the show for interviews. So, if any of you listening want to be part of the show, want to do an interview with me, please reach out to me. You can email me. You can send the show a text with your contact info. You can message me on social media. Please, I want to hear from you. And then some of my big news for 2026 for the show is that in a couple of weeks, I'll be heading to a podcast conference in Orlando, and I am genuinely excited about it. I want to share this with you because it matters to this show. Women's voices belong in every space, including podcasting, media, leadership, education, and thought leadership. I am going to this conference not just to learn new technical skills or marketing strategies, but to make sure the Hint Hive continues to evolve, stay relevant, and expand its reach without losing its very soul. This is also me modeling something that I want you to hear clearly and internalize. Ladies, you are allowed to invest in your voice. Whether that looks like education, therapy, coaching, training, mentorship, creative projects, or community, you are not being selfish for resourcing yourself. You are being intentional. When women invest in their voices, the ripple effects are real. That's another cool thing about 2026. I am rejuvenated to look into women's retreats and conferences where I can even suggest them. I can recommend them. We can meet each other there together. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. But ladies, collectively, we need to let our voices be heard. So now let's talk about your goals. Let's bring this back to you, because this episode isn't just about the podcast and its goals for 2026. It is about your life. When you think about 2026, I want you to zoom out before you zoom in. Instead of immediately asking, what should I do or what should I accomplish? Try asking, how do I want to feel this year? Where in my life do I need stronger or clearer boundaries? What part of me has been neglected, minimized, or silenced? What am I finally ready to take seriously about myself? Your goals may live in different areas of your life. Maybe in your work or career, you're asking for more, pivoting, resting, redefining success, or finally leaving what's draining you. I know I certainly am. I've made some changes in my business, and let me tell you, it is liberating. Maybe you have health goals, moving away from punishment-based wellness and towards sustainable, compassionate care. Maybe you have some self-care goals. Real self-care, not aesthetic self-care. I don't care about going to get your nails done unless that is like something that is really, really passionate for you. And definitely not productivity disguised as rest. No, real, true self-care that nourishes your very soul. This is one that I am prioritizing in my life now because I'm done. I thought I was doing self-care the right way before, but you know what? Like everything in my life, it seemed very, very performative. Oh, look at me. I'm going to do this. That means I'm doing good self-care. No, I was not nourishing my soul. That is changed for 2026. And maybe you have some goals about the relationships in your life. Choosing reciprocity, emotional safety, honesty, and accountability with the people that you interact with. It doesn't have to be just romantic relationships. Or maybe you're going to focus on some personal growth, confidence, leadership, healing, voice, and self-trust. And hear this, your goals do not have to be flashy to be powerful. And you do not have to have started on January 1st. Don't let those OCD tendencies take away from the impact of goal setting throughout the year. You don't have to have it all figured out on January 1st. And honestly, sometimes the bravest goal is just simply consistency. Sometimes it's rest. Sometimes it is saying no without over-explaining. Sometimes it is staying. So here is your feminist reframe on goal setting for the new year. Your worth is not dependent on your productivity. Your goals do not need to be justified to anyone. And you are allowed to change your mind. You are also allowed to set goals that honor your nervous system. Goals that account for grief, stress, caregiving, burnout in real life. Goals that feel like expansion, not self-betrayal. Progress does not have to look like hustle. Growth does not have to be painful. And rest is not a reward. It is a damn right. So stop qualifying your rest with, well, if I do this, and this, then I can rest. No. Be mindful. Be attuned to your body. Listen to what your body is telling you. And if it's telling you to rest, then rest. That's an order. And you know, support is available around this. If you're listening and thinking, I know I want something different this year, but I don't know how to get there. Or I don't even know what the hell I want. I don't know what goals to set. If you're thinking any of that, I want you to know that you are not broken and you are not alone. That uncertainty that you're feeling is often the first sign of growth. And you can reach out to me if you're looking for support with goal setting that actually sticks, or breaking self-sabotage and people-pleasing patterns, rebuilding confidence and self-trust, navigating life transitions, creating boundaries without guilt or apology, achieving healthier relationships, finding your voice and becoming more assertive, and kicking anxiety in the ass and not allowing it to control your life any longer. Needing support does not mean that you're failing. It means that you're aware, and awareness is powerful. And if you need something deeper than what just listening to this podcast can provide to you, go on my websites. I have a couple different ones, and see if that's something that I can help you with. If you're in the state of New York and you think you need therapy, give me a call. My website is kellymhint.com. Or if you are anywhere in the world and you don't need therapy, but you want some coaching, you want to go deeper into your goals, and you've already got that past history kind of settled, you don't need to go there and get therapized, then give me a call. Go on my website. See if I've got the vibe you're looking for. That website is coachkellyhint.com. And I got to tell you, this is really weird for me to even say half of this stuff today, like talking about the finances and going on my website, because I'm not great at selling myself, and that's not what this podcast is about. But somebody brought it to my attention. One of my fabulous listeners said to me, "Do you realize that you don't tell people that they can hire you, that they can reach out to you and utilize your services? You just talk to us and you tell us things and you give us tips and you educate us and you empower us, but you never encourage us to call you for your services." And my response was, "Ew, I don't like doing that." I can't sell myself. It just feels weird. But then I reframed that thought and I'm like, holy crap, it's not me selling myself. I should be offering to help, because that's what I do. That's literally what my career is. And shame on me for not reminding every single one of you out there that you can reach out to me and we can work on this together. I can help you. So, apologies for the first 2 seasons of this podcast where I didn't tell you enough that I am here for you and we can work together. This may be the only time this season that I say that, but please don't forget it. And of course, I've got to plug the Hint Hive podcast group on Facebook, because that is where you can very easily communicate with all of the members. It's a very safe space for us to talk about all things feminine, feminist, social justice, all of it. So if you want some support from other like-minded people, feel free to join the group. Again, that's another link that's in the episode description. Okay, I just can't anymore because it just feels like really salesy now, and I'm done. So, ladies, as we step into a new year and a new season of the Hint Hive, I want to leave you with this reminder. Your voice matters. Your desires matter. Your boundaries matter. And the world is better when women speak, even when our voices shake. Thank you so much for being part of this hive. Thank you for listening, sharing, supporting, and showing up year after year. Season 3 is going to be powerful. It's going to be intentional and honest, and I am so grateful that you are here for it. Until next time, ladies, take care of yourself, take up space, trust your voice, and keep buzzing. This podcast is powered by Kelly Hint Empowerment Coaching, as well as Kelly M. Hint LMHC and the Cranky Counselor. To find out more about coaching services, head over to coachkellyhint.com. If you'd like to know more about the psychotherapy services I offer to individuals within the state of New York, you can check out kellymhint.com. And if you'd like to learn more about aromatherapy, you can check out thecrankycounselor.com.